welcome to the second episode of the Architect webinar series. In the first episode, we've already given you a brief background about what makes a blockchain ready for global use. In this episode, we will talk about what is it Architect public blockchain and what truly makes it Internet of Trust. As we mentioned earlier, we are doing these webinars for our community members, anyone who is interested in the blockchain space, so that it becomes easy for them to understand a very long white paper, and it becomes easy for them to understand why Architect public blockchain is truly revolutionary. So we'll start then. Akshay, do you want to kind of tell everyone what makes Architect public blockchain the Internet of Trust?
Oh yes, yeah. So like before I start explaining that, I just wanted to connect between the first webinar and the current webinar. I just want to connect. So like you have already like what listened to the four S's which we talked of, right? The security, the scalability, the sustainability, and the simplicity of the blockchain should be at least 100 times better, so that it is highly adoptable, right? So like in this episode we will walk through a very in-depth analysis of what these forests are and how Architect is way ahead than other blockchains like in these forests. uh, so yes, Vishnupriya, if you can just share the screen of the comparison table of the four S's, so that I'll walk them through one by one. So like in the white paper, we start explaining about what Architect is and all that, and then we have a clear, definitive, like a differentiating table, which clearly explains how Architect is very unique from other blockchains, from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Tezos to Hyperledger and all that. So if you can zoom in even further, Vishnupriya, to that three columns. Oh, yes, perfect. Yeah. So like as you can see, the three S. So one is the sustainability, the most important. So like as you know, Bitcoin consumes so much energy that it consumes like the energy equivalent to that of a country like Switzerland, right? So for energy consumption here, like say Bitcoin consumes 420 kilowatt hour per transaction, but for Architect it is 0.00167 watt hour per transaction. So this is 3.6 billion times less energy consuming than Bitcoin. Second would be the security. So Bitcoin is easily prone to 51% attack. So this like has recently been uncovered by the Chinese banning the Bitcoin network, where almost 60% of the miners were in China, and all of a sudden them dropping off the network like or created a huge hassle for the Bitcoin network. So this doesn't happen with Architect because first, like to attack Architect, there needs to be 97.5% like of nodes being malicious. Second is that the nodes in Architect network are distributed across the globe. So hence a very high security and a very high standards, taking the blockchain technology to the next level. The third would be the scalability. So as you can see here, Bitcoin is just 7 transactions per second. Like the maximum would be the to that of Hyperledger, which is just 20,000. But with Architect, uh, we have mentioned it as unlimited. Why? Because this has to be created to a patented technology called transaction chains. So like instead of blockchains, we have transaction chains where each block has just one transaction. So like leading to a very atomicity of a blockchain. So like these are the very three clear differentiations of like of Architect. And the fourth one would be that of simplicity. The simplicity is being assessed, saying that any non-tech person can deploy a smart contract on Architect blockchain. So this means that let's say if a farmer or your grandmother who don't have a lot of technical background to understand the private public key concept, to understand what a smart contract key is and all that. So with Architect blockchain, we have made it so simple that we call it grandma proof, where even your grandmother can deploy smart contracts. So those are the four S's very briefly. Yes, Vishnupriya. Like Vishnupriya, I think you're on mute.
So you've explained the technical, side of it, which is, I mean, the 4S and the tables of why, Arch Ethic is truly superior. Do you, for the tech community, do you want to kind of deep dive into this aspect via the white paper?
Oh yes. Yeah. So like what
Yeah,
we'll
can
do
you?
is like what I'll do is I'll explain each and every S. Like like I'll take you through a very brief introduction of what those are like for exactly and how Architect is leading it. So Vishnupriya, if you can share the white paper like of security, sustainability,
Yes,
and scalability.
I'm just doing that. I think here we are.
Yeah, page 10.
Just is the Zoom okay?
Yeah, Zoom is perfect.
Yes.
I'm just checking it. Just 1 second. You can cut this part, Vishnupriya. That would be good. Using this. Yes. So the very first aspect of a blockchain comes to the security part of it. So like that's the reason why people or the technology is moving from the internet to blockchain. So let me deep dive into the security aspect. Uh, so like Architect boasts of having a security to handle 90% of malicious nodes. How is this possible? This is possible through the hypergeometric distribution laws, which through randomness and through the entropy of the system takes into account randomly 200 selected nodes from across the globe, not just one country or not just one continent. And then those 200 nodes, through an atomic commitment, will validate the transaction. This is proven through the hypergeometric distribution laws, of course. And the capability to handle the 90% maliciousness and only 200 nodes needed to validate a transaction are enough to ensure both the security part of it and also the scalability part of it. So like if you can see the very technical terms of what is atomic commitment, like what is the heuristics and rotating part. So like each and everything is being detailedly what explained in the white paper. So if you can like if you'd like to know more, so you can just give it a look. Uh, Coming below uh, to the energy consumption part. So if you can see, uh, so here we have basically proven that the energy consumption of Architect is 3.6 billion times less than Bitcoin network. How is this? Like, what? How do we prove this? Is basically through the proof of work used inside the Arch consensus. So proof of work used inside Bitcoin is a hash rate proof of work. So like that's a different kind of proof of work. But the proof of work with Arch is just scanning for the public key like associated with the node. So like that is being carried out, and this leads to a very low energy consumption. Once if the energy consumption is 3.6 billion times less than Bitcoin, any number of applications or any number of transactions can be handled. So that's why for the scalability part we had written the infinity. So like this is how both the security, scalability, and sustainability are clearly differentiated from other blockchains.
That's really great, Akshay, and it's great that you have also kind of shown everyone the detailed description of it in the white paper, so that people can always go through and because it's a truly one of its kind innovative public blockchain, people can always come back and ask us more questions. And so, okay, well, we've covered the 4S more or less, Akshay. We will talk about one very important test, which is for people like me, who are non-technical people and wouldn't want to understand the mathematical and the economic side of it, but rather the simplicity side of it. How easy is it for me as an individual to be a part of Architic Public Blockchain? The simplicity aspect of it.
Oh yes, yeah. Uh, so like before you share the screen of like of the simplicity part of it, so like let me just like what if you don't know what a smart contract is, like let me just explain what a smart contract is. So like the traditional contracts. So let's take an example that I have a house and I would like to lease my house to a tenant. Okay? And both me and him, we we start engaging with a contract. Like the contract is of course like approved by the central government of that particular country. And what happens is that every month the tenants pays me a monthly lease in this case. But this involves a lot of paperwork, taking the papers, handing the paper on both the parties, and me as a house owner, I need to wait every month for him to send money to me, and if not, I have to ask the person to send it monthly. See, like it's an hassle. What if we had a e-contract which we could sign online, and every month, like in the beginning of every month, on the 5th of every month probably, like if the money is automatically like or deducted from the tenant and is debited to my account. See, so what if that process is automatic? And more to that is not just the central government is involved in this case, more like a decentralized way. There is no one else involved, so just me and him who are engaging in a contract, right? So this very use case, like the contract used in this use case, would be called a smart contract, where two parties would engage in a contract without a third entity, and automatically the operations happen. Uh, Let me give you a powerful example, powerful yet simple example. So like consider there's a farmer in France. So like I live in France, so I'm just taking an example of a farmer in France, and he wants to like insure his crops like with an insurance company. So he goes to the insurance company and says, okay, if the temperature of France is more than 45 degrees Celsius, reimburse me this money as an insurance. So he goes and he creates a smart contract. So since with Architect it's just a simple drag and drop, so 40 degrees. And once the thing is, once the temperature of France becomes more than 40, the like the insurance company will automatically pay the farmer. So this is just one of the very powerful examples of the smart contract. So maybe if you can share your screen, Shruti.
I will do that.
Mm.
I'll do that, and you can then explain in detail,
Mm.
how exactly it works in the case of Architic.
Mm. Exactly. Oh yes. So if you can go to the below directly, like or jump into the below. Yes. Yes. That's one. No, about like the below of page 11. Yes. If you can zoom in just the below part. So now you have understood the simplicity of the smart contracts, or the simplicity of access to Architect blockchain. So it's now like introducing a technical term called the UTXO model. So like Architect blockchain has has incorporated the UTXO model, where transactions are directly validated through this UTXO model, and the status of the transaction changes by itself, like without it being validated. So like this UTXO model is being incorporated by Bitcoin and no other blockchain. So it's just Bitcoin and Archetype. So like only two blockchains have incorporated this, and this comes to a very high importance, like in terms of smart contract. Now, so to access the blockchain itself, there are multiple ways. So you can have a password, a private public key. So to make it even more simplified, we will be soon transitioning from a password based to a key based. Key based in the sense, with just a USB key or a Ubico key, you can access the blockchain. So from that to a biometrics device, where with just the tip of your finger you can access the Archetype blockchain. So like here there's an image of the biometrics, which is a patented technology by Uniris, which takes into account the the very internal vein structure of the finger, like with the lateral fingerprint, ultrasound, and the infrared veins. So which gives you the ability to access the blockchain without ever having to remember password or key phrases, or like without like what using a key or like losing a key. So all these things are taken into account and are in the future roadmap. So like that's a very brief introduction of how Archetype is leading the 4Ss.
That's kind of very great, Akshay, and like you said, it is very brief because decentralized identity and biometrics itself will be one of the session topics that we will cover in this series, which is itself very very interesting, and involves a lot of questions around it. So I think we have explained the four S's very well with examples to everyone. What I would request is that before we wind up this episode, please feel free to drop in your comments, questions, queries below, so that we can kind of address them. Uh, in case you have a more technical query, or you want to become a part of the community, you can always write to us. We will also mention the email address that you can use. And yes, I think we will wind up this episode, Akshay.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, that uh, you know, uh, Archetype public blockchain itself can become multiple episodes, because there is so much to talk about, and so much to cover. So, but thank you for your time.
Mm.
And thank you to everyone who's watching this series. Please refer it to people who you feel will be interested. You can go and check out our website, archetic.net. You can follow us on social media, or you can just join our Telegram group and become a part of our community. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.